Hey there, if you work in a busy hotel or restaurant, you know that problems pop up every single day, right? But what if I told you there's a really simple, clear way to solve them? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover today. Let's jump right in.
So, let me ask you something straight up. Are your guests always happy? Yeah, probably not, right? And hey, if you said no, you are definitely not alone. Every single manager deals with challenges. The trick isn't to have zero problems, it's knowing how to fix them when they show up.
Take a look at this list. Does any of it, look familiar? Maybe you've got high employee turnover with people leaving all the time. Or maybe you're getting more and more guest complaints. And you know, those things almost always lead to this last one, low team morale. But here's the good news. These are super common problems and there are clear ways to solve them.
All right, so let's get into our first section. To tackle things like high turnover or those guest complaints, we first have to really understand them. All of these problems fall under one big umbrella that we're going to call staffing issues.
So, what's a staffing issue? It's actually pretty simple. It's really just any situation that stops your team from doing a perfect job. You know, it could be anything. Maybe they don't have the right skills, or maybe their equipment is old. It could even be that they just don't feel motivated.
Okay, let's move on to our second big idea. It's not enough to just see a problem. We have to dig deeper and find the real reason it's happening. And that real reason? We call that the root cause.
Let's think about an example. Imagine one of your waiters is really slow. It's easy to just think, oh, that person is lazy. But is that the real reason? Probably not. We have to ask that super important question, why? And this slide really shows what I'm talking about. On the one hand, our first idea is simple. The waiter is lazy. But if we actually look into it, the root cause, the real problem, could be that the computer system for taking orders is broken. So the big lesson here is to always look past the first easy answer.
So how do you find that root cause? Well, you use a tool called a needs analysis. Here's a great way to think about it. It's kind of like being a doctor for your business. A good doctor never just gives you medicine without figuring out what's wrong first, right? They make a diagnosis. Your needs analysis, that's your diagnosis.
And it's a really simple three-step thing. First, just observe. Just watch your team. See what happens during a busy dinner service or a chaotic check-in. Second, interview them. Just talk to your staff. Ask them, hey, what's making your job hard right now? And third, check the data. You know, look at those online guest reviews. What are people actually saying?
All right, so you've found the root cause. Awesome. Now it's time for part 3, making a smart plan. And I don't mean just a quick idea in your head. I mean a clear, written plan. We call this a training action proposal.
Now, 2 words here are super important. Realistic and specific. Realistic just means it's something you can actually do. And specific means everybody knows exactly what the plan is.
A really good specific plan is going to answer 3 simple questions. First, who? Who needs this help? Is it the whole front desk team or just 1 or 2 people? Second, what? What new skill are they actually going to learn? Be super clear about this. And finally, when? Put an exact date and time on the calendar.
Check this out. This is a perfect example. It tells us who, the concierge team. It tells us what, a 1-hour session on conflict resolution. And it even tells us why, to reduce guest complaints. See, it's specific, it's realistic, and it has a really clear goal.
Okay, we're on to our 4th and final section. So you've made your plan, you did the training, so you're done, right? Nope, not quite. The last and maybe most important step is to actually check the result. And you do that with a follow-up plan. What you're really looking for here is the outcome. And the outcome is just that, the final result. You're asking, did our plan actually work? Are things better now?
So how do you check on that progress? Well, first is monitoring. Go back and just watch your staff again, maybe a month after the training. Second, you set milestones. These are just important dates you put in your calendar to check in on the results. And third, get feedback. Talk to your team again. Ask them, hey, did that training actually help? Do you feel more confident?
You're doing great. Before we wrap things up, let's do a super quick review of the key English words we used today. This will really help these ideas stick in your head.
Okay, let's run through them real quick. Remember, the root cause is the real reason for the problem. The outcome is the final result. A staffing issue is any problem with your team. A milestone is just an important date to check on your progress. And to propose something simply means to suggest a solution. Easy, right?
And there you have it. That's our 4-step process. We went all the way from seeing a problem to checking if our solution actually worked. So now there's really only one question left to ask. What's the very first problem that you're going to solve using these steps?